LA County is raising taxes, sales tax today. So that's across the whole county. And that affects cities differently. We have a clip from KTLA News talking about this. So let's watch that and then we'll discuss afterwards.
Thanks, Monday New this morning. A sales tax increase takes effect today in Los Angeles County.
Mario Ramirez is live in Manhattan Beach with more on how much more you'll be paying at the checkout. Yeah. Mario.
Bob, Rick, good morning. A quarter-cent sales tax officially went into effect across the county at midnight, and officials estimate this will generate about $1 billion each year to go towards homelessness services. But that means residents within the county will be having to foot the bill for that, paying a little bit more for goods and services, as you mentioned, starting today. So let's break down what that means and why it's happening. LA County voters approved Measure A in November, adding a quarter-cent sales tax, increasing it from 9.5 to 9.75%. With no end date. About 60% of the money generated will go towards homelessness services, 36% will help start a new housing agency, and the rest, officials say, will support prevention and affordable housing programs. It's officials required here to set a 5-year goal and track progress of spending, and that tax replaces a 2017 measure that was originally set to expire in 2027, 2 years from now. Measure A's goal, according to the county's homeless initiative, includes reducing the number of unhoused and people living on the streets, increasing the number of affordable housing units in the county, and also increasing the number of people transitioning from encampments into transitional or permanent housing. The county says it will continue to monitor the impact of Measure A on local services and funding, but we can tell you that increase in sales tax impacting everything from groceries to car purchases. To give you an example, if your grocery bill is about $200, you're paying $19.50 in sales tax, and that's 50 cents more than you were paying yesterday. So it might not seem like a lot, but definitely adds up over time. For now, live in Manhattan Beach this morning, I'm Mario Ramirez. Back to you.
This is a across-the-board tax, Mario, in LA County, but it does impact individual cities in LA differently?
Yes, it can. Remember, this dates back to the November 2024 election, and you might recall if you were asked about that Measure A as well as a sales tax hike in your own city. Well, take a look, because there are some that are looking at a much higher increase because of that. Lancaster will see a jump from 10.25% to 11.25% after approving a new 3/4 sales tax. Palmdale with the same increase. Azusa approving a new quarter-cent sales tax, bringing its rate to 10.75% from 10.25%. And Glendora also approving a new quarter-cent sales tax, bringing its rate to 10.75%. All of that going into effect today, and you can find more information on that at foxla.com.
Given inflation and the talk of tariffs and just the cost of everything, a 1% increase is pretty significant, or it can be for some people. All right, Mario, thank you.
All right, Mario. Thank you. You sound so disappointed about the sales tax increase. Well, you voted for it by a margin of 58 to 42. So
that was for the Measure A?
I was for Measure A. I had to look it on Ballotpedia. It won 58 to 42%. So they say it in a disappointing matter of, I can't believe we have to face higher sales tax. Well, you voted for it. And here it is. San Diego, we escaped it somehow. I don't know, but we voted something like that down. LA, on top of everything else that they're facing, now has to face this increase. 11.25% sales tax in some places. That's...
I just don't know how people can afford to live.
I mean, it's over 10% on anything. I mean, yeah, food essentials are exempt, but go buy a car, you have to pay sales tax on a car, 10% on a car. How much do you have to pay extra
People
on a car?
People are going to lose their homes and not even be able to afford the tent to live in.
No, it's this 10% is crazy, and they just keep raising it more and more. What's even more insane is what it's going to, which they say is a lot of homeless spending. Now, if you are a fan of this show, we did an episode not too long ago about how bad the spending is in Los Angeles County regarding homelessness. I'll give you the rundown. It's bad, like really, really bad. Basically, No one has any idea where the hell the money went. So, in fact, it's so bad. I feel like it's one of those sketches. It's so bad. How bad is it? Um,
I'm sorry, I should have been more prepared.
I
Start
sorry, I
over.
didn't
No,
put
I'm
that
just
in.
kidding.
Let's do it again. Take two. It's so bad.
How bad?
It's so bad that the federal judge, David Carter, has told city officials recently in a court hearing just about a week ago that if they don't get their act together, the federal court is going to take over homeless spending. Like they're going to order a court receiver to step in and handle the money because it's that bad. Um, there's this article from LAist, and let me pull that up for everyone to see. So, Judge blasts LA homeless spending as a train wreck and threatens to seize control. A frustrated federal judge on Thursday lambasted LA city officials for failing to properly track billions in spending on homelessness, and called for a forensic audit to look into potential fraud and waste. He also threatened to appoint a court-ordered receiver to take control of the spending. For those who don't know, a court-ordered receiver is basically a person who takes an asset and holds on to it. They're like a private fiduciary appointed by the court. They take it, they hold on to it, and whatever the court tells them to do with it, then they have to do it. But it would be out of the hands of the officials. At the hearing was Judge David Carter, Mayor Karen Bass, City Council President, LA County Board of Supervisors Chair Catherine Barger, and City Controller Kenneth Mejia. The judge focused heavily on a recent audit he oversaw, which found major failures in tracking more than $2 billion of city homelessness spending and holding contractors accountable. It comes after multiple audits over many years with similar findings, according to records Carter showed in court. Quote, "This is a slow train wreck," Carter told top city and county elected officials. That audit looked at about $2.4 billion spent by the city over a 4-year period ending last summer, which includes the first year and a half of Bass's administration. It found LAHSA has made it impossible to accurately track homeless spending, in large part by failing to collect accurate data on its vendors and to hold them accountable. This is the most insane part of this article. So we also discussed on that previous episode that Karen Bass has her own homelessness program called Inside Safe, which I guess she says, well, it's my program. It's under my purview. I started it. And this kind of started the whole fight, is that the city controller, Kenneth Mejia, the young guy on social media who's doing nice little videos in his Hawaiian shirt. I appreciate it. Thank you for
I
being very
like him.
transparent.
Well, I mean,
I
maybe I
like
don't,
him.
but so far I like him.
I like the fact that he's calling him out like, hey, this is this is my job, and he's telling you what to look for. Bass told Carter at this hearing she does not consent to the controller's office auditing programs under her office because it wouldn't be consistent with the charter, and she believes it's not right for one elected official to audit another. Bass added that there's much more for the city to do on homelessness. Quote, "But it needs to be focused on the people and what their needs are, and not on the administration," she said. Carter wasn't satisfied. Quote, "We pay your bills. Figure this out." And then he goes on to say, he acknowledged efforts by the mayor and other elected officials who he said had inherited a mess from decades of failures to ensure accountability. But the responsibility to fix it all has fallen on them, he said. "I am your worst nightmare," the judge told officials. "I can make your lives miserable." I was flabbergasted that Karen Bass goes in there and tells a federal judge, I don't think they have the right to look into what my programs are spending money on. How dare you think you have the right to audit my programs?